Now, if you're like me and you're into commercial real estate a little bit more than residential real estate, you know that it's a little harder to find information out there about commercial real estate because it's so much different from residential. So, I have the pleasure today to be speaking with a commercial broker, and this is Gardner Rivera. He's the founder, CEO, broker of record, commercial real estate extraordinaire of Paper City Real Estate, and they are based out of Jersey City and particularly in Journal Square, which is an upcoming redevelopment area in New Jersey. So, first and foremost, thanks for joining us today.
Thanks a lot, Jessica.
So first of all, why real estate? Why did you get into real estate?
So, I graduated a while ago, undergraduate at Penn State, and senior year we had a tremendous class. I was a management major, and I decided at that point that there had to be some specialization. There was, there were just too many of us. I had to find something that was gonna, I guess, make me stand out to the job market at the time, and it was either Wall Street or Main Street. I took an intro to real estate class, and I just fell in love. It was the one industry that I could see beside finance where there were no ceilings, where your work equated to your compensation, and I loved it, and I enjoyed it. I enjoyed the intricacy of it, and I enjoyed the challenge every day, and I fell in love.
Great. You sound really similar to me. Ever since I discovered real estate, I was like, I guess I've been living under a rock all this time, but I'm enjoying being in it. I'm enjoying learning more about it and meeting a lot of great people that are involved in real estate. So, another thing that I'm sure you encounter a lot, especially in commercial, is
Right.
that there are not that many people that look like you and I
Yeah.
in that
Yeah.
industry.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah. Definitely.
can you just talk a little bit more about how your experience has been as being a person of color in commercial real estate? Yes.
In real estate? It's an interesting question. Thank you. It's a super interesting question. No softballs here, right? Two things. Two things. You often find yourself the only one. So I started in property management where there were very few Latinos. I'm Puerto Rican and American Black. There were very few of us. There was several in the office, but very few of us in the field. And in commercial real estate, you just don't see it. I don't know if it's maybe there's no outreach, maybe traditionally commercial real estate isn't talked about in high schools and colleges. My alma mater just recently, for the past couple of years started a real estate program. So there's really not that outreach, I guess, going back. But in terms of feeling, it's tough. It's tough. It's not easy. One of the things that I focus on, and this is through the Project REAP program, which I'm a part of, which we spoke a little bit about, is really getting minorities and women, ethnic minorities and women involved in commercial real estate. With being the only Puerto Rican in the room, oftentimes even at a senior level, I have received a tremendous amount of help, thankfully, from men and women of all backgrounds. So, yeah, I think it definitely needs to change. It's definitely not easy, but I've been very fortunate in that being a minority hasn't dissuaded people from helping me, nor should it. And I've had the good fortune through Project REAP, through experiences of all the programs, to see a lot of great minority talent and help some of those individuals kind of up the ladder.
Great,
Yeah.
great, really important. And so you mentioned mentorship, having people that kind of paved the way for you,
Yes.
led by example. So is there a particular person that you kind of want to shout out, if that's been a particular impact in your life as far as real estate, or maybe somewhere that's a little bit more arm's length that you admire, that you want to talk about?
I don't know. I mean, I've been I guess again fortunate. There are individuals who have been men of color who have been, I mean, just like godsends in my career. In my career. I don't know if they want to be mentioned. No, no, not for any other reason, but just to embarrass them. But there are individuals who have time and time again taken time out of their very busy lives. They're all senior executives, taking time out of their busy lives to talk to me. Sometimes to talk me off a ledge if I'm nervous about a big deal or something happening in my career, and also guidance. You know, no one tells you that working 70 or 80 hours a week is going to put a strain on your family. No one tells you that you're going to be the only person of color in a room. No one tells you that your first year you can lose, you know, a couple of $100,000. No one ever says that. And these guys have told me that and kept me from certain pitfalls, and I can't thank them enough. Okay, you were looking for a name?
No. If you don't care to share, it's fine. We'll get it out of you soon.
Okay, you'll get it. You'll get it.
So you talked about there's a lot of different things that they don't teach you in school about real estate, and especially I said commercial is kind of a little bit more off the beaten path. Everybody's familiar with residential. So can you just tell us a little bit if there's a typical day in the life of a commercial broker, or if it's atypical, maybe some things that you usually encounter on a regular day?
Okay, so the good days are typical.
Right.
The good days are typical. You start off typically very early. You grab your phone even before you start your day. You know, before you get dressed, you're on the phone. You're sending out critical emails or text or just connecting with the people that you need to that early. 70 to 80% of my days on the phone. I try to schedule my meetings for the afternoon, usually either before lunch or right after, so I don't drag them out into the rest of the day. And then I'll come back to my office and I'll usually have a schedule set. So either it'll be working with new agents, it'll be connecting with people who I need to talk to for the next steps in whatever business line we're following, and that will kind of run itself into 7, 8, 9 o'clock at night. Then the commute home and then bed. The details of that are typically connecting the dots and making sure that we don't miss the details.
Right.
We don't miss the details. So, you know, database management, definitely prospecting, calling new business, which you should never forget to do.
Right.
So the atypical days are the days that things blow up, or you have a great run and you have, you know, 4 or 5 meetings planned, which is fantastic. But you never want to forget in those great days to chase business. Because what happens is you have those great days where you're out and you're doing other things, and you know 3, 4, 5, 2 weeks goes by, and you're not doing your outgoing calls. Right. You're not touching people. You're not bringing them.
Keep that pipeline, keep that deal flow.
The
going.
Cash register.
Yes.
Keep the cash register ringing, and you never want to forget that. I think the difference between probably residential and commercial is the transactions are going to take a little longer, so it's a higher touch with your client. You know, you're dealing typically in the millions of dollars per transaction, so you want to keep close, and you want to keep those lines of communication open.
Got you.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, that's great. Is there any type of advice that you would give for somebody that's either looking to get in commercial real estate or already in it and they're not finding themselves as successful as they want to be?
Let's break that into 2 things.
Okay.
There's the advice to people who want to get in, who are not in yet,
yes,
who want to get in. Be prepared. Be prepared for a substantial amount of time to pass before the first, second, and third thing happen. Okay. Commercial real estate, especially brokerage, you can go months without getting a check, at least in the beginning.
So be prepared. Have your finances in order. Have that reserve on deck.
Or be prepared to eat ramen noodles every day, which is okay, and
Yeah.
sometimes you have to make that jump.
Mhm.
But be prepared for that. This is a marathon business. You know, a broker can go from 1 transaction to 15 transactions a year and do very well. It takes time. Everything takes time to build your book of business, to connect, to make the connections that are going to lead you to the next step. It takes time.
Okay.
Then never forget, be patient. 2, if you're in it and you're not as successful as you want to be, stop and figure out why.
What are you doing that's not making you successful?
Right, or what are you not doing?
Mm-hmm.
It could be something as simple as stress, as rapport,
Mm-hmm.
as you're not making enough calls, you're not signing up enough deals. Your market, your approach to your market is incorrect.
Mm-hmm.
You know, if there's only 5 20-unit buildings in your market and you have 2,004 families and you're chasing the bigger fish, there's really no reason for it.
Right. The law of percentages is just against you.
Right. Play the odds.
Yeah.
Play the odds. I would say stop. Take a serious, but take an honest look. You know, everybody says, "Oh, it's the market. It's, you know, politics. It's the government." No.
Something outside of you when it's really
No, it's
more
you.
likely you.
Stay 2 hours later. Wake up 2 hours earlier.
Okay. Well, we'll just wrap it up with this. I know everyone's enjoying this riveting interview right now, but we'll close it on this. What's one piece of advice, knowing what you know now, that you would give to yourself when you were just starting out?
Have faith in yourself.
Okay.
You cannot see around the corner. It's all scary, and right after the scary part is fantastic.
Okay. Well, you heard it here first. In the beginning, there's going to be some rough patches and sacrifices to be made, and you may be pulling your hair out, but it all will work itself out eventually. So, thank you for joining me. Again, this is Jessica Washington, the Fresh Face in Real Estate. And if you want to learn more information about Paper City, there's more information in the link below. Thanks for joining me.
Thank you. Thanks a lot, Jessica.
Thank you.